we have news that Cleanspark just bought 2 more Bitcoin mining facilities, and they are turnkey facilities, meaning they're basically ready for miners right now. So let's take a look at that news, and we're also going to look at the chart. And I'll leave Cleanspark's investor relations page for you, but looking at this news, Cleanspark is acquiring 2 Bitcoin mining facilities for a $9.3 million all-cash deal. And this is going to host some Bitcoin miners that are already paid for. They agreed to acquire 2 turnkey Bitcoin mining campuses located in Dalton, Georgia for a cash payment of $9.3 million. And these new facilities should add just under 1 exahash per second shortly after the deal is scheduled to close later this week. And these 2 facilities will host a total of over 6,000 of their Antminer S19 XP and S19J Pros. And yes, these orders were already placed and paid for earlier this year. And Zach Bradford, the CEO, says this acquisition ensures that we have more than enough infrastructure to reach our year-end target of 16 exahash per second. It also continues to position us as one of the most power efficient miners on an energy per hash rate basis. And their chief financial officer said we continue to make use of opportunities created by current market conditions to prepare for next year's Bitcoin halving. Importantly, this acquisition is fully paid for from our existing cash reserves, and we expect it to almost immediately start driving revenue to our bottom line. And I did want to add that earlier this month, Cleanspark purchased 12,500 Bitcoin mining machines at a discounted price, and they also purchased 20,000 in February, all of which have been fully paid for, and also 45,000 brand new Antminer S19 XP units in April. So this means that their 16 exahash goal by year end is clearly already planned out. But I'm curious, let me know if you think they're going to get above the 16 exahash goal that they have in place by the end of this year. I personally wouldn't be surprised to see more, but it is great to know that they are reaching expectations there so far. Now I did want to show you guys the chart, and then I'll give you a couple more thoughts. So we still have this 515 to break out of. It is a pretty clear resistance now that we've just about touched it 4 times now. If Bitcoin continues pushing, I do think we'll break out of this resistance in very short time. One thing to be aware of though is we do have a gap up here, and typically gaps up do get filled. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Cleanspark trading back in the low 4s to fill this gap at the very least. One thing I'm also watching for if we do pull back more is I'm watching this blue and yellow line. These are both ascending support lines, and this sits just a hairline under $4. And one more thing I wanted to add is we are facing ascending EMAs, and we are above an ascending 50 MA, this red line here. We recently saw our golden cross. However, you'll see the 200 MA is relatively flat. If we can have a couple more green days, the chart will be that much more bullish. Now, one thing that I want to mention that I'll probably touch on more in a future video is this is the tail end of this current quarter. And one thing you're going to want to watch for is their next mining update. That gives us all the pieces to the puzzle that we need to see what kind of revenue they're working with for this quarter. Are we going to get the 52 million expected revenue, which is a new record? We'll essentially find that out in the next mining update in the beginning of July. I think it's important that Bitcoin continues to push throughout the last of this month, because then in the next mining update, we'll hopefully see that they didn't have to sell too much Bitcoin to meet their revenue expectation. But the way it's looking at right now, I do think that this month they are going to sell more Bitcoin than they mine. Let me know down below what you think about what we're going to see this quarter and what we're going to see for this next mining update. And since we've been moving up lately, people have been getting a bit euphoric. I want to ask you, what's your strategy? Do you have a price target? Do you have a time horizon? I think those are some important things you need to think about. I'm personally looking at this more on a time horizon where I likely plan on taking profits somewhere in 2024 or 2025. But if we do continue to just run crazily, and I mean work our way towards $10, I would likely be selling some covered calls just to trim some profits on Cleanspark. And if you're curious about what covered calls are and what they do, maybe I'll do a future video going over different option strategies. But thanks as always for watching, guys. Let me know what you think about this news, and let me know what your strategy is for Cleanspark throughout the rest of this year and in the coming years.